Now, before we could use these things in the examples, we need to do one more concept, and then we'll be doing examples on that. Conversion of one inverse function to another. What does that mean? It means if we have sine inverse x and we want to write it cos inverse of something, how do we write it? Like we write sine x as root of 1 minus cos square x. We write it wrong, right? So we write sine x in terms of cos x. Similarly, how to write sine inverse x in terms of cos inverse? Similarly, every other ratio, tan inverse, secant inverse, cosecant inverse, how to write that? Out of this, I can give you answer of that. This is something we just did. Sine inverse x is cosecant inverse 1 by x. Okay. So similarly, we want to find all the relations. How to write sine inverse in terms of other inverse functions. Okay. Guys, before I do this, I need to make a disclaimer now. Guys, now know your school and your competition part will be different, quite a lot of different. We will just see that when we write sine inverse in terms of cos inverse, it is not always that. It is under some condition. To be precise, let me just show you the result first. Like that. These are the results. How to obtain that? Very simple. I'll be just telling you. But first, let me make my one point very clear. Sine inverse x is cos inverse root of 1 minus x square. But this holds only for this x. Not always. Only for this x. If x is not this, then there will be problem. Similarly, all the ratios. Now, when it comes to school, that is a question in your boards, you will never worry about that. When I say never worry about that, it means just write this as this if you require that. Do not think about x. You will not be required to think about that when it comes to school question. That portion is not there in the school. But when you are doing a question in objective or competition, then before writing this as this, you need to take care your x should be 0 to 1. Otherwise, you cannot do that. So I hope I have made my point very clear to you. Okay. Even then I just write it for boards. Do not worry about conditions. Just do not. Okay. Now, how to get this thing? It's very simple actually. In fact, it is very simple. Listen guys, sine inverse x, we want to convert it into other inverse ratios. How to do that? Just, yes, that's what I'm telling you, no? Just make a triangle. Just make a triangle. Try to see if this angle is theta. Sine inverse x is some theta, no? Then clearly x is sine theta. So if I take this angle as theta, so as sine theta is x by 1, so x here, 1 here. So this will be root of 1 minus x square. Now guys, what to do? First of all, we'll not even do this step which I just did. I will not do even this step. What you have to do is you have to read this thing that is inside sine inverse. You have to read it as perpendicular by hypotenuse. You have to read it like that. That is, if I write sine inverse 2 by 5, then it is sine inverse of perpendicular by hypotenuse, like that. Okay, so always read the term inside sine inverse as perpendicular by hypotenuse. Now, moving away with that, just convert it in whatever inverse you want to convert it. Cos inverse. What is the formula of cos inverse? Base by hypotenuse. Base upon hypotenuse. What is the formula for tan inverse? Perpendicular by base, x upon root 1 minus x square. What is the formula for cosecant inverse? Hypotenuse by perpendicular. Yes, beta. Then secant inverse. Hypotenuse by base. And last, cot inverse. Yes, Anirudh, exactly. Root of 1 minus x square by x. That is how you will convert it. Now, before I come to these conditions, let me just see how fastly you can understand cos inverse. Just try to see if you are able to understand. You will, very good, Amay. You will read it as base upon hypotenuse. Very good, Neha. So base upon hypotenuse. So certainly we can find hypotenuse. Sorry, base upon hypotenuse. So if these two are given, we can certainly find perpendicular. Now we can write all the ratios. So if you just understood, let me just do it for tan inverse quickly. Or okay, do one thing. Do tan inverse in your copy. Then I will show you the answers and match. Do it in your copy. Convert tan inverse x into all other ratios or inverse functions. Yes, beta, this is like misprint here. Secant inverse. How to think about conditions. As such, guys, even in competitions, no, you will not require these conditions much. Why that? I'll be telling you just in the coming examples why that. But let me tell you, you will not be requiring much. In very few questions, rather very good questions, you will be requiring these conditions. So we have to do it. And certainly we just can't remember so many conditions for all the ratios, all the inverse functions. So we have some strategy, or you may say some aid to memory, to see what are the conditions. Okay. So far, I will not give you the reason behind that strategy because that will further confuse you. When we will be doing miscellaneous example in the end of chapter, there you might ask me, sir, please now explain why that strategy works. So there I might be able to explain, because at that moment my chapter will be finished. You would have used these conditions, so you would be good at these conditions. At least there is no scope for confusion. So right now I'm not going into logics. I'm telling you the straight away strategy for that. Look, guys, when I convert this into this, how to find condition? Chhod do inverse, come to trigonometry. Just consider sin x and cos x. Okay. Write their principal domain. लिखो अपने पास. Write the principal domain of both. And then see what is common in that. common part. It is 0 to pi by 2. Sin x का principal domain minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. Cos x का principal domain 0 to pi. So common in them is 0 to pi by 2. This is first step you have to do. Last step. Just see for this x, what are the values of sin x? When x is 0 to pi by 2, sin x lies in 0 to 1. Yes or no? Oh, yes or no? Yes. Try to see that is the condition. Okay. Now let me convert this into tan inverse. Look for the domains, principal domain of course, principal domain of sin x and tan x, and write common principal domain. Common principal domain. It is minus pi by 2 to pi by 2 open. Principal domain of sin x is closed minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. Principal domain of tan x is open minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. What is the common part? Open minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. So what are the values of sin x in minus pi by 2 to pi by 2? It is minus 1 to 1 open. That is a condition here. Very good, guys. Okay, let me tell you one more case. Sin inverse to cot inverse. Just write the common principal domain. Sin x is minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. Cot is open 0 to pi. Open. So common principal domain is open 0 to pi by 2 closed. This is common principal domain. So what are the values of sin x in this common principal domain? It is very good. Open 0 to closed 1. That is the condition here. That is how we find conditions. Okay, let me find it for others also, and then you will relate better. Now cos inverse to others. Let me do anything randomly. Let me just find condition for this. Okay, cos x, tan x. Write common principal domain. Cos x का domain is 0 to pi closed, and tan x is open minus pi by 2 to pi by 2 open. So common part is 0 closed to pi by 2 open. Now what is the value of cos x for this x? It is open 0 to 1. I hope you know the graph of cos x. So when we go from 0 to pi by 2, these are the values it attains. 0 to 1. Pi by 2 is open, so value at pi by 2 will not be considered. So open 0 to 1. Guys, did you get that now? Very good. So you can write condition for any conversion. It is very simple now. So I do one thing. Very good, guys. I give you little time. Just try to write conditions for this. Okay, for this. What were you saying? Green line is different. But I didn't get you. What are you saying? Yes, the green line is different. Matlab? Oh, sorry. Okay. Thank you. One is closed. Thank you, beta. Thank you. Okay, I got you. So certainly now we can write all the conditions whenever we want. So You just tell me one thing. What will be the condition for this? Secant. Try to do. Write tan x, write secant x. Amey, I don't know. You just focus at what I'm asking you to do. Write the common principal domain and then find the value of tan at that. And tell me what is the condition. It is minus pi by 2 pi by 2. It is 0 to pi except pi by 2. So common आएगा 0 to pi by 2. Close, open. You need to remember principal domain, बेटा. उसके बिना नहीं होगा. If you don't remember principal domain, then it is an issue. Minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. And this is 0 to pi except pi by 2. So common part आ गया 0 closed, pi by 2 open. So guys, what is the condition? Tell me now. ओए मैं शर्म कर यार. 0 to pi by 2 है. When x is 0 to pi by 2, tan x 0 से 1 में lie करेगा. For this x, tan x lies where? Now that is a problem. Your basics are very weak, beta. So in spite of me giving you a very good strategy, still you are unable to find it. That's really bad. Yes, Akash, very good. 0 to open infinity. Amelanka, that is really bad, beta. So x is 0 to infinity. That is a condition. Yes, Ame, you wrote 0 to 1. No, what was that? It is 0 to infinity. Close 0, infinity open. Now let us proceed ahead. These are few questions. ये क्या है? Primarily when it is not in like I tell you what. Like this. Question is, this is equal to this when x is 0 to 1. But what if x is not in 0 to 1? Then how will we convert? Okay. So this is something which I'll be doing in miscellaneous part, not here, because rarely exactly advanced level mein, there also in a very few chances are there that it will be required. Yes, Jan. So I'll be covering not here. I'll cover this part in miscellaneous. Okay. So I have kept two questions here: cos inverse to tan inverse, but it is out of condition. And one is sine inverse to cot inverse. It is also out of condition. So how to convert that when x is out of the condition? I'll do that in miscellaneous part when you will be good at, first of all, this thing. I don't want to confuse it right now. That too for a very brief part of advanced, rather advanced plus level. Okay. Now let us do few examples. Now whatever we have covered so far, I'm going to cover some examples. Okay. First is this. Here, what I'm going to tell you, just listen. What is this and what I've written? This is like looking nothing. Question is simplify या to prove कह लो. To prove this is equal to this. As such, do not take it a question as a question. I want to explain something else through this. Questions are after this. Here I have mentioned that cos of tan inverse x is equal to cos of cos inverse this. I have given you a statement primarily that it is like there, it happens. What I am trying to convey. Look guys, when it comes to tan, please listen to me carefully, okay? This is typically for competition, I'm telling you. If I have to write tan inverse to cos inverse, I can do it, no doubt. I will draw a triangle perpendicular by base. So this is 1 plus x square. So if I want to convert it into sine inverse, I can write it as 1 by root 1 plus x square. But we know this is not always true. It is only true under some condition. Let me write that condition also. To find condition, I will write the common principal domain of this, which is 0 to pi by 2. Then I'll find value of tan for this x. It comes out to be 0 to infinity. So this is true only when x is 0 to infinity. Not always. It is only true for this condition. Now, guys, point is, when you are converting inverse to inverse, certainly you can write this as this only for this x. Not always. But, now is the main point, but if there is a trigono function outside, then you need not worry about any condition. I'm talking about general school, competition, everywhere. Okay. You need not worry about any condition. You can write it like this, whatever x is there. X is. You need not worry about x. Now let me conclude my statements, guys. अब ध्यान से सुनना. If you get this, you get everything. If you don't get this thing, you will be damn confused. Number one, when it comes to convert one inverse to other inverse, this is point one. It's better if you write on copy. Pick your copy and pen. Write first statement. If you convert inverse to other inverse, नीचे लिखो point one. Convert one inverse to another inverse. First point, do not bother about conditions in boards. You don't have to bother about the conditions in boards. Second point, in competition, you need to check conditions. Obviously, there you cannot just straight away write that. Second, if we have, now this is very important point, trigono function outside inverse trigono, like this, trigono function outside, inverse inside. Okay. And inverse trigono inside. Then No need to worry about conditions while converting inverse trigono. No issues at all. ये तो ना बेटा रट्टा मार लो, रट्टा. Whenever trigono is outside, no, whenever trigono is outside, कोई चिंता ही नहीं करनी. You do not worry about anything. You do whatever you want to do. Whenever trigono is outside. Okay, just mug it up. So if we have cos of tan inverse x and I just want to change tan inverse into cos inverse, I will not worry about x. I will just straight away convert it. In school, in competition, everywhere, I will not worry about x. It is only when we have single term, only inverse. Then if you want to convert, then you have to look for condition. That is a point. Okay. I suppose you understand that. Let me do a few questions on that and see if you understand. Question is, what is the value of cos of tan inverse x, tan of cot inverse x? Listen guys, I will certainly wish to have tan inverse here, because if we have tan inverse here, tan inverse tan will get cancelled and give you the value. Now, how to convert cot inverse into tan inverse? I'll make a triangle. Cot inverse is base by perpendicular. This comes out to be 1 plus x square. From triangle, it is 1 by x. I'll write it tan inverse 1 by x. I will not worry at all about where x lies. I will not. Why? Because of this trigono function lying outside. And now we know whenever trigono is outside, it cancels out. So answer is 1 by x. Coming to second question. I would clearly wish that we have cos inverse here. Because if we have cos inverse here, cos inverse cos will get cancelled. So I would like to convert cot inverse x into cos inverse. So I'll make a triangle, base, perpendicular. So hypotenuse is this. So what is cos inverse? Base by hypotenuse. So I will not worry at all about the conditions. I will straight away write this. Now whenever trigono is outside, it gets cancelled and you get the value x upon root 1 plus x square. As simple as that. So you don't have to worry about conditions when we have trigono outside. It's only when you have single inverse term and you want to write it in another inverse term, there you have to worry about x. Otherwise, no issue at all. बस समझ लो ट्रिगनो बाहर बैठा है ना तो वरदान है आपको. साक्षात शिव जी ने वरदान दिया आपको. ट्रिगनो बाहर है बेटा, चिंता नहीं करनी, बढ़ जाओ आगे, मैं साथ हूं आपके. So I hope you understand this thing. So please do first question for me. Yes, I told you I will not go into logic right now or you will get further confused. So एक वरदान मिला, उसका फायदा उठाओ. क्यों कंफ्यूजन हो रहा है? शिव जी से क्यों पूछ रहे हो? ऐसा वरदान क्यों दे रहे हो भाई? Okay, do it quickly. I have mentioned the hint. I would convert inside inverse into the required inverse so that it gets cancelled. फटाफट convert करो, cancel करो, and finally tell me what is the value of x. Chitransh, it was not pi by 2 minus, it was pi minus. You are writing it wrongly, that is why you are getting complication. Cot inverse x was pi minus, sorry, not pi minus. Formula गलत लिख रहे हो कुमावत. Formula was cot inverse x is tan inverse x, or tan inverse 1 by x plus pi, if you want to convert it like that. Well, that's what I'm telling you. Why are you taking problem with yourself? You better keep it simple. Tan inverse was smaller, no? Cot inverse was bigger. So when you are writing cot inverse in terms of tan inverse, cot inverse x will be tan inverse 1 by x plus pi, if you want to use that formula. So very good, guys. Let us see if you have done it rightly or not. Using triangle, it will be 1 minus x square here. Here also you will get 1 minus x square. So now it cancels out. That is why we convert it so that we get simple expression. So 2 times 1 minus x square equal to 4. Squaring both sides. So x comes out to be, did I do something wrong? Root of 1 minus x square. Perfect. Root of 1 minus x square. Perfect. So 2 times this equal to 4. Squaring. और x तो 5 आ गया, कुछ आया ही नहीं. Because you get x square equal to minus 3. So x is 5. No value of x is there. Getting it? Yes, you did calculation mistake, beta. You took it 5. It is minus 3 here. So exactly similar second bhi ho jayega. I'm doing it right now here. Exactly same. It will also be root 1 minus, it will be sine inverse root 1 minus x square. It will be cos inverse root 1 minus x square. You can convert it in your triangle. So here also you will get same equation equal to 2. So 1, squaring both sides this. So x square equal to 0. So x equal to 0. That is answer of second part. So guys, that is how we proceed. Simple point is, whenever inverse is inside, trigono is outside, just straight away convert this into inverse of this, so that we may cancel it out and we get a simplified expression. Nothing more than that you have to do. Okay. Here's the solution. Second solution. Now this part. Guys, I'm doing it for you. Now inverse में problem पता क्या? Questions look very complicated, but they are very simple. The only thing is you should be knowing what you can do and what you cannot do. Now this cause outside is allowing me to do anything I wish. I will not worry about anything. So first of all, I'm seeing pi by 2 creating over here. So it is cos inverse x plus cos inverse x plus pi by plus sine inverse x. That is pi by 2. Now try to see, beta. It is nothing but cos of pi by 2 plus theta. Don't you realize inverse is nothing but an angle? It is just some angle. So what is cos of pi by 2 plus theta? Minus sine of theta. And now we know we will convert it into sine inverse. Just draw the triangle, you will get sine inverse root 1 minus x square. Cut. So answer is root 1 minus x square. Beautifully, beautiful question and very easy question. Students get confused how to handle this term. Oh, they forget cos inverse plus sine inverse, to pi by 2 hi ban jayega. And now this is nothing but pi by 2 plus some angle. This is some angle, nothing more than an angle. Nothing more than an angle. So cos of pi by 2 plus theta is minus sine theta. खत्म हो गया सवाल. Just have a look, guys. If you have any doubt, just ask me, because these are the kind of questions you'll be getting in the school and competition both. In the end, you better put x equal to 1 by 5. That is also asked. One more example. This example is very tough if you just read it in wrong sense. It is very simple if you read it in right sense. Wrong sense is, sir, we to could handle this by converting it into sine inverse. But ये 2 का क्या करेंगे? ये तो 2 तंग करेगा. Certainly, sine of 2 sine inverse x. Now this is not going to cancel because this 2 is here. It will not allow it to get cancelled. So now what? The right sense you need to pick up. You need to see this thing as an angle. Cos inverse 1 by 3 एक angle ही तो है, कुछ और थोड़ी है. And what is sine 2 theta? Simple, 2 sine theta cos theta, finished. That is the approach you have to see. That is the right approach. So it is 2 sine theta cos theta. Guys, मजा आ रहा है? समझ आ रहा है? So that is the right approach. You have to see it like an angle. At the end of day, inverse is an angle. So ये तो issue नहीं है. Or here we know we will convert it into sine inverse. Very good, Kumawat. So 2 sine inverse, आप ट्रायंगल बना लेंगे, ये बन जाएगा ये. So ये तो पहले ही कट गया हुआ है, into 1 by 3. ये अब कट जाएगा. So 2 into root 8 by 3 into 1 by 3. This is your answer. Easy but yet very interesting question. Arjun, tell me beta. Very good. Anirudh, Ame, everybody. Very good beta. Now that's good. That is a beauty you have to understand in inverse trigonometry. If you see this thing as like a good thing, it is very interesting. If you just take it in wrong sense, वही यार इसको तो साइन इनवर्स में कन्वर्ट कर देंगे, 2 का क्या करेंगे? If you go in that direction, then it is an issue. So you have to go by like side by side. One is like simple meaning that it is an angle, nothing more than that. So sine of 2 theta is very simple for me. Second is conversions. For that I told you, whenever trigono is outside, you convert anyhow, no issues at all. So all the problems will be taken care of. This is the last question I'll be doing today. This is given and we want to prove this. Okay. Observation, I mean the base of my solution is we do not have any inverse here. So primarily we have to finish the inverse thing here. Once we just finish it up, we get the desired thing. Now how to finish it up? Like, guys, just see. I write it like this. And now I just apply cos on both sides. Beautiful step. Just apply cos on both sides. Because that's the only thing which will finish cos inverse. Otherwise, cos inverse will not be finished. Here to finish x by 2. But here what to do here now? Nothing. It is just a minus b, 2 angles. And we know cos of a minus b. Cos a, cos b plus sin a, sin b. And now we don't have any problem because cos alpha तो वैसे ही good है, ये cancel हो जाएगा. Sin alpha वैसे ही good है. Here we know we cannot cancel, but I suppose we know we can change it. Sine inverse root of 1 minus y square by 9. So here also it get cancelled and we get root 1 minus y square by 9. Inverse is finished. Your 99% of job is done. Only thing one is left, you don't want square root. So bring everything on other side and square the both sides. Now just square the sides and you will get the desired thing. Squaring, whatever you get, that is something you required. One thing might come to your mind is, sir, why you didn't take straight away cos on both sides? We could have done that. So this is angle A, this is angle B. So apply cos directly here. So cos of A plus B is cos A cos B minus sine B. Yes, you could have done that. You could have done it like that also. Equally good. No issues at all. I just find it, okay, one term let me separate, yeah, it becomes smaller. But you could have done like straight away apply cos. And you take it as a homework. Okay. Okay, Yash. Alternate. Straight away take cos on both sides. You do it at home. This is your homework. Now you see, inverse is not actually very tough. It is very simple. There are very few fundamentals you need to realize. So I have told you those things. Now guys, if today you just do what I'm going to tell you to do, then this chapter will be yours. Otherwise, you are going to be like remain confused in this chapter. So guys, first homework. लिखिए कॉपी में, प्लीज होमवर्क लिखो. Repeat complete lecture. Please do it today only or at max tomorrow morning. Do not delay it. आज या कल कर लोगे ना, ये चीजें दिमाग में बैठ जाएंगी. Moment you delay it for 1 or 2 days, you will not get that flavor. पूरा लेक्चर दोबारा देख लो, एक एक सवाल सॉल्व कर लो, which I have done today. Second is this. Unit 2, question 1 to 11. And one more homework. Now what is simplify wale questions? Yeah. This is one category of questions expressed in simplest form. Now this category of question has two type of questions. Number one is this and number two is this. How they are differing? Here we have variable inside and here we have trigono inside. First A, simplifying this thing, you have to create tan of something here. Now to simplify it, you should be requiring double angle formulae and some other basic concepts which I told you in the very first lecture. If you require that, you may replay that session, very first session of this chapter. There I gave you some formulae. So using those formulae, you have to simplify it to get tan of something. Moment you get tan, cancel it out. Okay, cancel it out. That is the hint to this thing. Okay, coming to hint of second part. Here also, by substituting x something, you need to see what to put. Okay, of course there are some standard steps which I'll be telling you next lecture, but today you have to like think upon it yourself. By putting x equal to something, create tan inside. You want to make it a tan of something. For that, you will have to put x equal to something. Hint is put x equal to a sine theta. Once you create tan, cancel it out and you are done. That is a hint to these type of questions. There are many solved examples of this type in your book by the heading express in simplest form. You have to do it on your own. That is your homework. So I'll be starting from all these things in next lecture. But for the day, this is your homework. You do today's homework, this chapter is yours. You don't do it, this chapter will be very confusing for you guys. In next lecture, this chapter will be almost finished. Not almost, it will be like finished. So today you have to do like a good work, okay? So before I leave, last poll guys, please fill it. Please do not leave it, okay? Please fill it. And that is this.